Hey, how are y'all doing this evening? This is SolSista Therapy Childhood Trauma Podcast. I am your host, Plum Queen. We have Scorpio Sun, Sequita, and we have a special guest, Akilah Textri.
Hello, divine greetings.
Hey. All right. Our sister, Misha Love, is out there spreading her love somewhere else she is needed. So we're going to hold it down for the sis. But today, this is all about Akilah. She's going to tell her story, and we're going to vibe with the sis and, unpack these childhood traumas. So this is your show. So go do your thing.
Take it away. Okay. Thank you. Childhood trauma, that's my thing there. And I love that you guys were talking about it in the last show. It came up and it was good to touch base on that. I forgot the young lady's name, but it was good to touch base with you guys about it. So my story is childhood trauma. I mean, we all have it. We have different ones. And I think the one that stands out to me is the one that I was able to hit the core of, getting to the core of that childhood trauma. So it would have to do with actually a kidnapping. It's actually a pretty profound story. I was kidnapped probably about the age of 2 and taken. It was like literally after John Welsh. I don't know if you guys remember him, the one who does America's Most Wanted. Is that his last name? John something? Yeah, his son, before all of this started, his son was just taken like about a weekend before me. So my mom was like frantic, like this little boy just got found in the kennel somewhere or whatever. So I was gone for like a weekend, I guess, maybe a couple of days. I had been taken by someone who she know, so it wasn't an unknown person. And when they found out, they left me in like a gas station bathroom. This is the story I was always, told. And some lady found me in there. So I don't know how long I was there. And then I was taken to an orphanage, and it was like boom, boom, from one place to the next, and left there until someone saw it on the news, like a police officer. And then they called, made the connection back. So it was maybe a couple of days of being missing. And this is at 2. So I say all of that to kind of just paint the picture of what had actually happened, and something that I knew all my life, but I did not know. At 2 years old, you don't have any memory. So this is one of the hardest things, because a lot of us have trauma that are not in our conscious phase of mind. It's completely in the subconscious, which holds all memories, whether this lifetime, past lifetime, all your baby memories. So what you don't know consciously is being held subconsciously and is still playing out in your life world and affairs. So abandonment is the issue here. So the childhood trauma I had to deal with all my life was a constant theme of abandonment and rejection, always with friends, with anybody. It's just always hitting this chord every time it happens. We have when we have traumas, whenever someone hits the chord of that trauma, you tend to have like a really negative reaction. We all react differently, but you tend to go like, it's like mayhem, like what is this? Or you either get real depressed, or it can really cause, problems in your life until you start to deal with it. So it wasn't until like a couple of years later, well, a couple of years ago, I started working on this abandonment rejection issue, maybe about 2014, something around there, where I finally like called it out. Because the thing is, we need to identify what our issues are, call it by its name. And then I was like, oh, okay, I got some issues with abandonment and rejection. And I noticed every time someone did anything that looked similar to it, it would cause some kind of reaction anytime. So as I worked on it, it was getting better and better. And I thought I had it handled until having a relationship and my kids later, the guy had left, which Plump Queen and I talked about. That was a narcissistic relationship. And when he left, it left me like, I thought I did, worked it. We think we work, we peel back the layers, but I had never gotten to the core. I even had a post, what is it after you have a baby? Post trauma. I had a post trauma. Oh, thank you. I was like post trauma. Oh, life is post trauma. But postpartum, she was trying to get to the root of it. She was like, "Where is this?" And my dad wasn't around, so she's like, "Maybe it's your dad." And I just would not feel it. I was like, "No, that wasn't it," because I'm good with him. I was good as a child with him not being there, so that was never my thing. So I was like, "No, I'm not feeling that." So anyway, after my partner had left, and it stripped me down to the core. Like that was like ultimate abandonment, I guess. Ultimate abandonment and rejection, because he left me with the newborn baby, all the kids. So it was just like, what the hell? So when I was struck with that, it forced me. When I say rock bottom, like I was at my rock bottom emotionally. Never been that emotionally stripped and raw. So then I listened to this story again for some reason. So they were talking about it, my mom and whatever, we were casually talking about it. And my cousin was asking, what happened? Like what did, so the lady just walked away and left you? And I just said out loud, she abandoned me, and when I said it, it clicked. Oh, snap, abandonment. And then at the time, because of my kids going through it when he left, I had a 2-year-old or a 2-year-old that was crying frantically whenever I would leave her in the room. And when I looked at that, it's like all of that clicked. And I realized, oh, crap, that's probably what I was doing at 2 years old. Mind you, all my life, I heard this story. I never thought about how it might affect me, the 2-year-old. I just thought I was sleeping the whole time, because it was like they found you sleeping. So I thought, no big deal. I was sleeping. I don't know. I don't remember. When I saw that, I realized that was the trauma. Not only had I been abandoned because I knew this person, she knew my so I was fine with her. I was happy with her. And then when she finds out I'm being looked for, she just abandoned me, left me in the bathroom. So I'm like, imagine how much I've been crying and beating down the door and until I fell asleep, like what my daughter was doing at that time. And that's when it hit me like, oh, that's the core of the trauma. And you have to do your childhood work. So I did. And at the time, I've been watching a lot of Teal Swan, some other videos on childhood trauma, how to reconnect with that childhood, going back to that child at that age. And so I had started to do that work. I was like, let me go talk to this 2-year-old. Let me go to her, because the thing is, we tell ourselves a story. Whatever emotions that hit when you were a child, those are the, let's call them misappropriated emotions. You're going to carry that all your life. All my life, I'm feeling abandoned. I'm feeling unloved. Nobody wants me, because this was the feeling I was left with at that time. So what you have to do is go back to that time, if you can discover it and remember it, and speak to that child as the adult that you are now, with the knowledge that you know now. You have to parent that child. That's how you get through that childhood trauma. So I had to go back and say to myself, okay, with the truths that I do know, this person, yes, they left me, true enough, but it wasn't because they didn't love me. It wasn't because of any of that. It was the fact that you were just trying to escape the law, and you were only thinking about yourself. So I had to tell little me that it wasn't a personal thing against you. It's okay. When I made that connection, it's so funny. It's like I saw myself and I went to pick up myself. It was an actual exercise I was following in a book called Childhood Trauma, Heal Your Inner Childhood Wound. And so I went back to myself. I picked myself up in this meditation, picked myself up, reached out, and little me reached out, embraced me too. And I just hugged me and said, it's okay. I love you. Um, you're not abandoned. You are so loved. That person who even left you here loves you. They did not leave you behind because they don't love you. So it was like rewiring and rewriting these things in my mind to make it okay. And then I could feel it kind of just seep away, even as childhood me did. And then we merge. It's like when we embrace, it's like you kind of embrace into yourself and become one. It's really a deep, profound type of meditation to do if anyone can get a chance. But you have to really bring the love back to that wounded child. And you have to rewrite the story that you had been telling yourself over and over again through your pain. And every time someone struck the chord, it brought you back to that pain. You kept repeating in your mind, no one loves me. Oh, you abandoned me. You don't love me. And you have to rewrite that. So I had to rewrite that for everything that even happened in my life where people did leave. But what I did was say, you know what? It's not because they don't love you. It may even be because they don't love themselves. They don't know how to deal with certain things in a certain way. Don't take it personal. You are loved. So that was my story. We just did a workshop. I was telling Plump Queen, and I was asked that particular question. So that's why I said, well, I have the perfect story to share because they asked me. We were telling them, you got to get to that childhood trauma. Something's bothering you right now. And it's sounding like it comes from trauma, from a childhood. And he was like, well, what do I do when I get to it? So I had to give this story to let him know you got to parent your inner child. So
Man, that's powerful, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
mhm.
definitely going to tell everyone and suggest that, and I'm going to tell them that you told me so. I'm going to
Mhm.
get you the coin that so you can get your dividends, sis, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
powerful. I,
yeah.
yeah, I need my cousins to do that. I'm going to try. I've been doing real well with my methods, but I'm sure going to try that. I'm going to
Yeah.
try that.
It works. It works. If I get the book, I'll give the name of the writer. I know it's called Heal Your Inner Childhood Wound, but I can't remember her name right now. If I get it, I'll, send it to you so you can have it.
Please do.
And another good one to do, her name is Vicky Howie. She does inner childhood wounds with each chakra. Like that's another good one to do. So from like 1 to 7 years old is a year is each year is a chakra. So your whole 1 year old life is your root year. 2 years old is your
Mm,
sacral year. 3 years old is, your solar plexus and
mhm.
up, like you see behind me. So all the way up to 7. And she does one for each year and it does work. And it's on YouTube. So anybody could just type it in, Heal Your Inner Childhood Wounds, Vicky Howie, and try it. It really does work. She walks you through a guided meditation to your inner child.
And see, all of these resources are out here. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If you really, really want to heal, if the information
Mhm.
is out here. You just really got to seek it.
We in the age of
Yeah.
information.
Yes, we are. That's super. That's
Age
super.
of Aquarius.
There you go.
Well, you know what? I ain't got no questions. I thought I was gonna
Okay.
ask the questions. You kind of just stopped me, and it's hard to shut me up.
Oh, right. I was like, well, where the question? Come on with it. Give me the
Nah,
question.
you explained that so well. It's just like it's just low key. I just dealt with a situation
Mhm.
just the other day that falls right along with what you're saying. And I really hope, what I'm saying, that all parties involved can watch this,
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Me
saying, and
too.
feel this and get this message that you
Yeah.
just, you know
I
what I'm
thought I was
saying?
the only one that did that, Plum Queen. I'm like,
Okay,
message.
because a lot of us, I know so many. Anybody that I track is great. I'm
Mhm.
great. So you're gonna be my reflection. But a
Yeah.
lot of us just won't get out of our own way
Wait.
Yeah.
because we won't because we have not talked, like you said, spoke
Mhm.
spoke life and love into that inner child.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I tend to rub people the wrong way when I try to do that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So this is why I have situations like this, so they can hear from other people, and
Mhm.
maybe with a different, a little swag on there, a little bit more
Different.
sugar, maybe, whatever it is. So, so everybody can, can get this. So, you know me, I've dealt with abandonment issues and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Now, I've never been taken, and this is probably telling everybody, my issues are my issues, but I don't know what that feels like. That's a completely different situation than, my mom, giving more attention to her man than her giving me. She was
Mhm.
still there, but to be abducted at such a young age, you know what I'm saying? I can't imagine, how you felt. Like you said, you saw your daughter and it kind of clicked for you, like that's possibly, your reaction. So yeah, I don't know what that feels like. I've never been scared like that. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So you're a powerful sister to, to really figure that
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
Especially, and like I do know, the extent of your, your story with your ex-husband, and yo, you're my hero. Like,
Yeah,
you know
you
what I'm
know what? And
saying?
guess what, Plump Queen? We reunited as well. So look at that. That's another love story in itself.
Hey,
Yeah, that's a
we
whole nother story.
can we talk about that a little bit? Because
I
I'm
know.
saying now, that's what's
Oh
up.
my God.
Please speak on that. Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, sometimes people don't understand. You'll be with somebody and they'll break up. And that's because as individuals, y'all have to do something on your own in your journey. That
Mhm.
does not mean that y'all breakup is forever. It doesn't matter what the person's like. People
Mhm.
change and people can grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead,
Go
girl.
ahead. Well, and I thought it was gonna be forever when we talked about it. I was like, I'm not going back down that road, after coming out of a narcissistic relationship. But there's a little deeper twist to that relationship. And he has a book in his own because he has to tell that story to help other people get through it. But he actually had a psychosis, a what do you call it? I call it a spiritual psychosis because it got him to where he is now, and it was a necessary break that needed to happen. And before that break, he was a covert narcissist. I didn't know, he didn't know either. So unbeknownst to him, this is something that was coming up that needed to fall away. And so that happened to him, and he had that psychosis, and that's why he actually left. So the way that he left even was hurtful to me. All the narcissistic things that they do, that kind of happened in those last 3 months before he left. But when he did, it was like, whew, okay, I got to figure all of this out. I didn't know till he was gone. The same time I was figuring out the inner childhood wound, the core, all of this was kind of coming together around February of 2020, because he left January 2020. So a couple of things were coming together, and it was like, okay, I guess this is what he is. That's how I even found out that I was with a covert narcissist. He returned in June and had another episode that actually caused him to have to go to the hospital. But I had some guides guiding me that said stay by his side, because I was ready to be like, I am not dealing with this, but something was saying stay by his side and pour light into him. So what I did was I told the kids what was happening. I gathered them together. I was like, look, daddy needs help. And we pretty much we said like prayer. I call it meditation. We would do meditation together, and I told them we're going to put him in the light. So we would just really kind of speak words of life into him and just say, surround him in the light. We send him love that lights the truth within him. And we would just constantly do that while he was where he was going through. And coming out of that, he asked, for my help. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna help as much as I can. Like, you can't come back to the house, because he needed somewhere to stay too. I was like, no, we're not gonna do that, but I can help you heal. So I would actually end up being his therapist, like, because before they assigned him a therapist, we would meet once a week, and we would just go through these things that I knew about spiritual integration, because I was like, you're defragmented. Most of this world is. We're defragmented in our spirit, in our soul. Some are just to more degrees than the others. And his was an extreme degree, hence the snap. So we worked on that, all of this soul integration work. And by the time he got to a therapist, they were like, what do you do? Like, they thought I had a PhD. Like, I was like, I'm just very spiritual, and I am into psychology, and I do my chakra work. So I just know how to transmute energy through consciousness. And that's what I did. So I pretty much helped heal him. And in the healing, we were bonding. I wasn't trying to get back with him. Like, that was far from my mind. Even the therapist would, I was like, look, I'm just supporting his healing. You know, she was so happy to see when we started to actually move in a different direction, you know, like, oh my God, you guys are looking together. And I'm like, what? But it just naturally happened. And I'm going to give y'all the kicker here. This is a story for your book. If we blow everybody away with this, we have not been physically intimate this whole time. Like, I personally and him have not been, have had no physical intimacy, not even with anyone on the outside, since 2019. And everybody's wondering, like, even when they see us together, they think that, but we're not. We're just very spiritually intimate, and it's even so much deeper. Like, you know, we flirt, we dance with each other, we flirt, but we just have no interest to like really do that, and everything is just awesome. So it's like a complete, what do you call it, not even a 180, you know, complete, bring it back
Complete
around.
transformation. You
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
back at one. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't
Wow.
nine, y'all back at one. What you think about this, Quita?
Yeah, Quita,
That is
come on with
that's
it.
awesome. Like that's beautiful. Like I definitely, me being the person I am, I definitely would condone a spiritual connection over a sexual any day. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm a Scorpio, so I like to get deep. Like I'm like really deep. I like to get to the
Emotional.
core. I want to know your life. I want to know what happened in your childhood, what makes you tick, your triggers. Like I want to know all of that. And that stuff is that's the stuff that turns me on. That's the stuff that gets me going. Because when you have those deeper spiritual bonds, those are the ones that can't be, those are the ones that's unbreakable. You know, you can lay down with anybody any day and have sexual intercourse and it just be what it is. But when you have those spiritual bonds, and that's why it's hard for people to break away
Yeah.
from other situations because they never had like a spiritual bond or they look at sex as something sacred. That's their mind is programmed to have sex as something sacred. So that's when they form those negative toxic attachments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for people to get away from those connections and those people and to move on. And so, yeah, I'm all about, triggering people, but for the good, to help them grow and evolve and be the best person. And I feel like that's part of my journey. I think I spoke about this on another episode, but I feel like that's part of my journey is to really, and that's part of the reason why I've been in so many different situations and have never had one that clicked and kind of stuck around. Because I feel like I've been needed to help other people kind of come out of their own stuff and really like have this, aha moment and really come to. So, and I have a stepdad who
Oh, did we get a freeze? Come on back. Come on back. But you know, while she's
is
coming back,
part of my
okay, there
journey.
you go. Go
There
ahead.
you go.
Come back.
There it is.
We missed that last couple of 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have accepted that that's part of my journey and that's part of who I am. And, I consider myself like a spiritual counselor. Like I'm always counseling people and giving people light and energy and motivating them and pushing them and helping them through their stuff. And then I'm like, dang, well, who's helping me get through stuff? But I'm going within as well. And that's really great that you did that work. And it's so powerful because I was actually talking to a friend today who has we've talked about childhood traumas and things like that, and he stated that he has abandonment issues, and different things like that. I won't get into the extent of it, but I feel like we all, like, I even have abandonment issues as well from both my parents. So and it's crazy because I was like, did you ever have that conversation with your parents? And he said he has, but in a midst of like anger and kind of just letting it out. But I kind of challenged him to like have that conversation with your parents because you never, that can be so healing for you, and it can really give you
Come on back.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose another 30 seconds.
information
Right?
from you.
You working your magic, Queen? That's
Yeah,
some
that's what I'm
magic.
trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. It works.
She got that
So
real black
I, right. And I have to have a conversation with my parents as well. So,
Mhm.
you know, I feel like like you said, we all have childhood traumas, and some people just can recognize it and do the work to really heal and grow from it so that they become a better person. And others just choose not to. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes they don't even know they have it. They just kind of write it off as, oh, this is just something that happened then, and they don't want to do the work, to kind of really become a better person. But it takes like a lot of strength and a lot of courage to really be able to recognize them and actually say, hey, you know what? I'm about to do the work to make sure that I can become a better person.
Work it again. Work it again. Come on back.
He's trying.
So
It's bringing it.
just like,
She bringing you
You
back.
come back. You keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And we doing good. I ain't gonna front. It's been storming out here.
Okay, we all like disappearing.
Oh, okay. She said we all disappeared. You back? Can you hear us?
Hey, can you hear us? You can see us?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can hear y'all. But yeah, I just said I love your story. It's really beautiful. It's very powerful, and I'm definitely going to do some more work myself, and work with my chakras. I think probably the chakra for me that's probably the most, I guess, damaged probably would be my throat chakra
Mm.
and my heart chakra from just a lot of different trials and tribulations, and then just being in a position younger, not speaking up and seeing a lot of things, and being afraid to speak up or say something or express my feelings, or out of a fear of, getting that backlash. Like if you feel something, you want to say something, but you're scared to say it because you feel, I had a fear that, okay, this person will leave me if I say this. If I
Yeah.
speak up, if I'm true to myself and just really say how I feel, they'll abandon me. They'll leave me like, my mother did or my father did or whatever the case. So instead of me being true to myself, I just sit back and I had all those feelings and emotions
Mm-hmm.
in, and I just let it overcome me. And I sit and deal with something that I know I shouldn't be dealing with, or I know I don't deserve. And just to say that I have somebody here, or just because I don't want this person to get away, you know, but so I'm just learning. Those that's supposed to be here will be here, and the ones that are not, then they're not. Everybody is not meant to be on this journey with me, and that's okay. And I'm learning to release. I'm learning to let go of specific outcomes when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
situations and people, and let the universe just decide and be who I am, and whatever way it goes, goes. And just kind of be in that position. Like I have seen a quote that says, you've healed, or you're in a good place when you're okay with the outcome, when you're okay with
Yes.
it being something or not being something. When
Mm-hmm.
you are in that place of peace and solidarity to where you're like, if it happens, it happens, if it don't, it don't, and you're okay with either outcome, that's very powerful. So I'm learning to be in that centered space to where I'm not attached to any specific outcome, and just let what flows flows, and let whatever
Mm-hmm.
come to me come to
Flows,
me.
flows. Let me
Yeah.
flow.
And
Right.
it's gonna
But
take
yeah,
time. It's gonna take
it
time
does.
because I call that being at a mastery level, which is something we
Yeah.
spoke about in our workshop. There's 4 levels of
Mhm.
people. There's the learning level, level 1, there's
Mhm.
growing, level 2, and then there's experiencing, level 3, and then level 4, which is mastering. And we all are at different levels for different things in our life. So
Mhm.
you can get through something like that, you know that
Mhm.
you're kind of at level 4 with that.
Yeah.
It's not that nothing's going to happen to you, but it's the fact that you're okay with the outcome either way,
Yeah. Either
and
way.
you're willing to learn from it. You're willing to look
Yes.
and say, you know what, let me look for the lesson in this. So
Yes.
it really helps. Like I've learned, it really helps to know what level you're at, because even in the workshop, I explained this to them, and then I asked, your homework for tonight, figure out what level you are. When we come back, we'll
Mhm.
talk about it, like overall, not your
Mhm.
whole little, but overall, what
Mhm.
level do you think you're at, in your life? And, just to help them understand, I guess I'll share this with people here. It's like level 1, of course, you're learning. You have no idea you're learning. And
Mhm.
level 2 is like, you're growing through it in the sense of growing pains. Now that you're learning
Mhm.
something, you're willing to start doing the work, which you're going to feel
Mhm.
some growing pains from it, but you're
Mhm.
growing. And level 3, at experiencing, you are now you're still having some issues, you'll feel it, but instead of it feeling like growing pains, it's more like, okay, let me, you're looking for a chance to work with it. It's about practical application at that point. So you're looking to be practical with it. Like, let me work this. Oh, I see this as something I could work with. So you're experiencing it and knowing it as an experience. And then at level 4, you've mastered it to the point of, like what you said, I'm okay with the outcome. And also I'm willing to be a learner again. So it's like you return back to level 1 with being a master. So it's like, but it's different areas in your life, and it works if you work it. And I wanted to tell you too, with your throat chakra, you would love Vicky Howie's third chakra one, because yeah, when I did that with her is when I realized my throat chakra was a little more damaged than I thought. Because I was like, wait, I've been doing all these lives. That I've been working my talking about. But then when I did it, I kid you not, I went you go to every child, but that child, when I went to 5-year-old me, she was stubborn. She would not talk to me. I would just, like, literally in the meditation, it was a shutdown at that moment. I had to, like, that had me stumped. Like, I'm trying to figure out, what is this? She just sat beside me on the bed and would not speak to me. And I'm like, but I love you. Adult me is like, I love you. Talk to me. Tell me something. And she just sat straight, like, I refuse. And I really had to check what happened at 5 years old. Like, what was going on at 5 years old that I felt like, I couldn't talk anymore. And it really has a lot to do with, like, some of the things you said. You scared that people gonna do this or that, they leave you. But for me, it was not being heard. Like, it was like a hopeless feeling. Like, so what? It doesn't matter. If I tell you, it's not going to even change anything. Even if you want to help me, it's not going to change my life. I still have to live here and go with all of this, because my parents would argue at that time. So it was like nothing could be done to me at that age. So, and I realized I carried that even as an adult. Again, we carry these things. So the throat chakra, you would really love that one. And then I wanted to tell you to work with your solar plexus. Like Spirit was telling me, tell her about her solar plexus. So when you working on that, the solar plexus always helps, because this is an expression of your I am, but your I am is your solar plexus. So there's something in that area that needs to be strengthened. And what I would say, this was a good one I used to help someone in a workshop, was connect the sacral with the solar plexus. If you can say this in a meditation, because the sacral is your emotional body. So you can say, like, I connect my sacral with my solar plexus to engage in my heart for a healing, so that I can freely express myself. Kind of say that over and over. Like, I did it 3 times. Like, say 3 times is a charm, the power of 3. So, take some deep breaths, put on a meditation with one of those chakras, and just say that, 3 times. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely gonna do that.
Yeah. I gotta help my
hope y'all taking notes.
Yeah. Take notes. This is for anybody. Like, I swear, I think a couple of books about to come out me now, but this is one that I know is going to be coming for healing, because people ask me questions about it with the chakras. And what's coming up now, the next conjunction. This is a big one, guys. Jupiter and Neptune. No, Jupiter and Neptune. The Jupiter and Neptune conjunction on April 12th is a big one. It has not been in this position since about the 1600s. And the last time that it was there, a lot of medical breakthroughs happened. So what's going to happen now? You guys are going to see a lot of, medical breakthroughs, and most of it is probably going to be holistic, and have a lot to do with what we're talking about, healing your inner childhood wound, because you heal the mind, you heal the body. So it's going to be a lot of these type of things. And I know that I have something that I have to be writing about, because I have actually worked like what I just told you. And I've had good results when I tell people, work this chakra with this chakra to heal that one. And so that's another type of healing. So that may be something as well that comes out out of these medical breakthroughs. I definitely feel that coming out. So look out for it. You'll see.
I sure will. As a matter of fact, you and I got to talk, because I want you on Inspire interview, so we can talk about your workshop specifically, because that sounds very interesting on what you're doing. So we want to promote your business.
Okay.
So we can get that on out there, because you're dropping gems already for free.
Free freed up.
Folks need to come on through, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The rider, and
Yes.
get that good healing. So I'm definitely gonna set that up, and we need to talk, because I was just talking to somebody about matter of fact, I think it was you. You was talking about the feminine, the feminine nine.
Yeah.
We gonna figure it out. Feminine nine, plump queens. So we gonna figure out the name, but I definitely want to build this organization of melanated women. You know what I'm saying? To put our stuff together. You know what I'm saying? So we can be great together. You know what I'm saying?
That's how she attracted me, the feminine. That's when I was like, what's this feminine? Her, and I think Divine Chakra was doing
me and another sister, we was trying to do a podcast situation where we talk about, metaphysical things and, our ancestry and all of that. And I was trying to work it out, but everything in divine timing. Everything is in divine timing. I have a channel, you know what I'm saying, that I got so I can facilitate it a whole lot more. We're gonna work it out. So, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, we're attracting our tribe. So I needed to attract the tribe, you know what I'm saying, before I set that up. And I had to learn a couple of things, and a couple of people needed to drop off, you know what I'm saying, before that can be, you know what I'm saying, meld together. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that.
Yes. These some tough times out here in these streets. Like I had to drop off of like family members, like my maternal family members. That was my big Venus retrograde in December. And I literally held a meeting, like a Zoom meeting, like let me talk to y'all for a minute, because this is what we're not gonna do.
Okay.
And so I had a whole, I was like, look, this is what we're not gonna do. And I had to hold my crystals in my hand, because I knew I had to be in a place of love, and I didn't want it to blow up, but I had to stand my ground and say, I'm not living in a place of because when your family don't want to heal and you're trying to break your generational curses, and it's such a fight. I've been fighting with it for years, and it's like they want to sit in their stuff, like it's hypocrisy to my spirit, to my soul. And I was like, I can't do this no more. Not another Thanksgiving. I was like, I don't care what's going on. I'm not coming to no birthdays. I'm not coming, and it's not because I don't love y'all, but what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna compromise my soul integrity and sit around a bunch of people that don't want to do their work. I love you, but I love you from over here. So I love you from afar.
Thanks for the confirmation, Spirit. Thank you.
There you go. So I had a meeting, and I was like, look, if you can make it, you can make it. They was even disgruntled about that, because they was like, it's Christmas time. Da 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 da. Okay, I'm having the meeting, either you there or not, and I said what I had to say, because they had issues with the relationship that I was telling you about, because, people don't understand that. And they're like, oh, they think I'm being stupid. Yeah. And I'm like, if you really knew me, you would know I wouldn't do anything like that that would jeopardize my kids or, my sanity. I'm working on my spirit. So you should know better than that. But they don't. So I had to address that and let them know, hey, let me tell you where you come from. Because, my cousins and them didn't know about their daddy, and there's another childhood trauma, because I had gotten assaulted by him, and they did not know. So I said, before you open your mouth, let me explain something to you. I'm going to put it on the table right now. Put it on the table. That's the word I got too. Y'all got to listen to synchronicities around you. I just heard something on the TV say, put it on the table.
Put it on the table.
Okay, Spirit, what? Synchronicity. Put it on the table. So that's what I did, and I have not spoken to them since, and I'm okay with it. I'm really okay. But we have to understand these detachments are happening for a reason. These are your co-workers in life. I know it's hard to see it this way, because we tend to be raised with family is family, blood is blood, and it's like, look, soul blood is my blood right now. I'm trying to meet with my cosmic family, my light workers family that we all had an agreement before we came here. I'm looking for them. I'm like, where you at? I don't care what part of the world you in. Where you in Australia? Where you at? Let's hook up, and I put my family on the back burner. So, and I'm glad you're talking about childhood traumas again, because I must say, with this energy and all of this, we have to do this. We have to, all of us, it is our job. It is imperative. You ain't got to do nothing you don't want to do. But I'm saying, if you want to elevate, if you want to pass the transition of the frequencies that's happening right now, if you want to get past what's about to happen in June, because it's about to go down, if you want to get past some things, you better go within and go find out. We're in the age of the knowing. There's no excuse anymore. You have to know the information is out there. So the energy is asking you and inviting you, please go inside and get to know your subconscious mind. It's no longer allowed to get away with by saying, well, I didn't know, maybe that was subconscious. No more. It's like when a judge is before you and say, when a judge say ignorance is no excuse for the law, that's what the universe is saying right now. Ignorance is no excuse for universal law. You are going to reap whatever it is, whatever that karma brings. So guess what? You better do that karmic work, remove the karmic cycles. And that takes in your human suit dealing with those inner childhood wounds and trauma.
So Saquita, we're gonna have to find another topic because she just laid all that down.
All of it.
Bringing up that topic, because she done laid it on the table like she said.
She did.
Spirit start telling me, look, put it out. I just gotta look. Tell them. It's like somebody go tell them this. Tell them, okay, there it is.
Maybe they'll listen because it came out show mouth instead of mine. Because people don't understand, sis. This is all I be trying to say. I'm not trying to run nobody's life. I'm not trying, you know what I'm saying, not to control anybody. I'm just trying to make you understand, like, if you don't get some pep in your step, you're gonna continue to suffer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm not telling nobody nothing that I ain't doing.
You sound like me. That's what I say. I said, look,
I'm doing the work. That's why I'm not doing
what
it is.
Right.
I'm doing it. And they don't understand this because out of love, because I love you. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't say nothing. I would just go on about my business and elevate like I'm doing. But I'm taking out the time and energy to tell you this. And for free, because I promise you, these doctors, these therapists that are, you know what I'm saying? You got to pay them. And
they're not telling you this.
And then they're not telling you all of this.
Because they want you to keep coming back. Because they want you to keep coming back.
Right. I'm not trying to build. I don't want patience. I ain't that type of doctor. I'm not that type of healer. I want y'all to heal. And
we want success stories. That's what you want.
Right. I want you to heal and move on. I want, you know what I'm saying? I want you to get to a space so, you know what I'm saying, we can build together instead of me just, and they know they're not hearing me. But everybody has their journey. And again, you have a right to your journey the way you want to do it. You can go as fast, as slow as you want, but you don't escape from consequences and the results.
Nope. And not only that, another thing that people don't understand is the energy keeps moving. It doesn't stop. So when you have a divine appointment and you don't step into it, like you have destined coordinates for that divine appointment. When you don't step into it, the energy moves to the next available vessel. Gone. So and what happens is now you have free will. Like you said, you can move at your own pace, but you're going to miss that particular coordinates for that particular thing. Now that divine appointment may come back to you, but please best believe and know the coordinates will change. And the coordinates are probably not going to be as favorable as they were at the time that it was asking you to move now on faith. So, now you're going to want to go around it the long way, and you have all choice, but understand it's not going to look the same. You have to wait for the next coordinates. It's like when you miss a plane or a train, when you miss it, it's going to be some inconveniences. You can't just hop on like that. You got to reschedule. You got to wait for the next available one. You got to tell them. You got to all of this, right?
Go off.
I'm getting goosebumps. All right, Spirit. Okay. It's like,
go off.
Yeah, I think we going this because they gonna know this pre-recorded because they can't say nothing in the comments. I think we gonna post this at 9 a.m. Y'all need to be inspired. Y'all need to be feeling early in the rising on my birthday. It's gonna be on 9 a.m. because child.
They don't know. You're going to have to come back and you're going to be so discombobulated by the time you get back. So, and also what I wanted to say for you, Plump Queen, too, or any of us, this was another lesson I got out of some of the messages because I've been getting downloads a lot. I was telling you about them, like super downloads since like 222. So we could have a whole nother thing and share that. And I was telling her we're going to talk about it next week and we could set up a time for that. But what I do think is important to share, since you mentioned the heart thing, is that we have to disconnect our heartstrings. Yes, we love them, but you have to disconnect your heartstrings. Not that you don't love them, but it's a detachment that is required for you to elevate to your next level. You have to detach from the things that have a grip in the 3D paradigm. So you have to be, it could be, I'm telling you, it could be your mother, it could be your brother, I don't care who it is. You have to untouch your heartstrings, because you can't put your energy into that. So it's like, now it's saying find your soul. That's why you're finding your soul tribe now. That's where you put your energy. And I was just doing a live about this the other night. If I tell you don't hit that, you're going into a brick wall or whatever, and you still go and hit that brick wall, I'm going to say, you okay? That's the help I'm going to give you. I'm not going to go out of my way and exert my energy to come and help you, because then now that's pulling me down. So I'm sorry you didn't listen. My apologies if you didn't listen, but we can't be the one to try to, do everything above and beyond to try to help them. You do that. Save that energy for your soul tribe. And I said that to my soul tribe people. I said, if any one of you guys call me, I will answer. I have family members that not only I don't have to ignore them, but this is how the energy works. Because I have untied my things, my strings, they can't get to me. For some reason, if they call, there's people that cannot get to me. I am sealed. My energetic seal is look, Noah's Ark is closing. You know, when they say God shut the door and that was it, that's what's happening. So when yeah, they falling away, and they gonna be like, look, when I told you some stuff about to happen in June, y'all got about T-2 months or a month and a half. When June hit, everybody who's doing their own soul work and building their Noah's Ark, going through their childhood traumas, digging out, pulling out all their fears and unforgiveness and working on those, the people that's building their ark right now, putting their animals in 2 at a time, which really represents aspects of yourself. Different aspects of yourself, male and female. That means your conscious and your subconscious. Carry every aspect of yourself in harmony into your ark, because you're going to need it. And when them doors shut, I don't know, some stuff about to happen, but that's when the doors going to shut, and you're going to be in your ark with your tribe and whatever, and they going to be out there, Noah, trying to get to you, Noah. Hey,
I tried to tell y'all. I'll be on the boat like, I tried to tell you.
This Noah right here, I'm finna throw you afloat. That's when you lucky if I might be like, dang, I don't even know if I got a float on here. I'm sorry. Like, see you in the next lifetime.
You get to come back. You get to come back. But that's a fact. Yeah.
They don't know. You could
People
do what you
need
want to do.
Yeah, and people need to like take and that's another thing I was just talking to somebody about. Like, you got to take that risk, and it is hard because people they don't know if they should or if they could, or it's triggering, but it's triggering you for a reason. Listen to it. It's like if you keep getting triggered by something, that is the universe tapping you on your shoulder saying you need to get this in check. You need to figure out what this is. And that's what that is. And people are running from that. These people are running, and you need to be running towards the problems that are running away from it, because it's going to keep coming up. You just sweeping it under the rug, and the pile's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's looking at you, you looking at it. And then, what's going to happen? Who going to win, the pile or you? Like you are building these mountains that you don't have to be building. You know what I'm saying? And it's taking all this work to get up these mountains when the mountain was here and you could have handled it then. You know what I'm saying? Now it's up here, and you don't know what to do. And all these people and all these
me to risk my life to get you from up top
to get you up there. No, you had your chance.
Not to build it up there.
Exactly. And you have to. People have to take these risks. Yes, and like that's why I'm being more in tune with, I've been doing this, but I'm learning to rely more on my intuition and my inner knowing. And because a lot of times I'm like, I don't know, I'm confused, but then I know I need to take a step back from the situation and look at it from the outside looking in. Because a lot of times when we're in the midst of it, we're in the storm, it's cloudy, you can't see, you got rose colored glasses on, you don't know what to believe, but it's only when you're on the outside of it and you're looking in, you're like, okay, you can see clearly. So sometimes you just got to step back from the situation to really figure out how to navigate it and do what you need to do. And the universe is always sending you messages, is always giving you advice, and always trying to light a path for you. But some
Yeah.
people don't want to take it. It's like it'd be right there in your face.
Right
People
there.
be wanting God himself to come down and say, right there, it's
That's what they want. And it
that's
ain't
what
not
they
gonna
want. And I ain't
happen.
gonna lie, because I've been in positions like that too. And I'm like, look, just somebody just come down here and tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we already know. It's like that tingling, that feeling that you get, that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that uncomfortability, that trigger. Like, just an example, I was working at one place, and I don't know, I just got this overwhelming feeling like it was like I was never going to prosper or never going to grow in that job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what is this? And it was just something just pulling at me like, it's time for you to go. And I went, I was like, okay. So I started looking for, you know, different jobs and things like that. And I would get turned down here, turned down that. And then I was getting discouraged, but something was like, you know what? Maybe it just wasn't for you. And then I told myself, I said, you know what, God, how I'm going to know that it's meant for me is when you give me the yes. And so when I got the yes, like literally, I did an interview. They called me back not even an hour later and was like, "Hey, you got the job." And that's how I knew, because I kept telling myself, I'm like, "Well, how am I going to know if it's meant for me to go?" And I told myself, you know, I was talking to myself, and I was like, if they offer it to me, then that means it's time to go. Not even an hour later, it was offered to me, and I was out.
That was
And
it.
it was one of the best decisions I made because it elevated me. Then I got to that job and I started to have that feeling again. And it became familiar because I've went through this experience before. So I knew right off that I didn't need to interpret it. I knew what spirit was
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell me. It was trying to tell me it was time to go.
So, yeah.
And I left. And now I'm where I'm at now, and I'm grateful for where I'm at. So when you get those feelings, when you know spirit, and you getting those tinglings and those signs and synchronicities, and you start to feel uncomfortable, whatever, that's just spirit trying to elevate you and for you to grow. It means
Yes.
that you're becoming too big for where you are.
It
And
don't
that's
fit
why
you
you
no
start
more.
to feel uncomfortable. It's like, what is foreign? It's like, what am I doing here? It's like your spirit and your soul
It's too
starts to
big
tell
for
you
them
that you are
jeans.
craving more. And
Jeans.
it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
And you just have to kind of use that on everything, whether it's relationships,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. When you start to get uncomfortable, you start to get triggered, that means it's time for you to start doing some
Move.
work. You got to be like, okay, what is this trying to tell me? If a person is coming into your life and they're triggering you and they making you feel some type of way, and it's a positive thing, but just making you feel some type of way you ain't never felt before, you need to look at that. Maybe this person is coming into your life to help you grow, to elevate you, to get you to
Mm-hmm.
recognize some stuff wouldn't have done otherwise. And
Exactly.
people look at that and they get scared and they run, you know. And again, it's coming from these childhood traumas. People are not doing the work. So when something good comes into your life, or somebody comes in to try
So,
to help you and elevate you and build and heal you, you don't know what that feels like. You don't recognize that. So instead of you staying there and working on it, you run. You know,
mm-hmm.
people fear what they don't know. You
Yeah.
know, they're scared of what they don't
Exactly.
know. So if it's
Fear of
not
the
familiar,
unknown.
you used to getting treated bad, treated poorly, people walking all over you, females dogging you out, males dogging you out. That's what you're
That's
comfortable
what
with.
you
So
know.
if somebody calling you out your name, you okay with it. But if somebody comes in and trying to challenge you and loves on you and really gives you this work and this healing, you like, I ain't never felt this before, and it's trigger and it starts to feel
Run.
uncomfortable, and you run. And that's why it's so many. And I feel like, and I know, like, I have come to terms with, like, that's why I am still single, because every time I'm in a connection, I'm triggering these men and they don't know
They
what the hell
run.
to do. So they run. And that's okay, because, you know, my divine masculine is out.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That part.
That's
And he's
right.
gonna run towards me
You
instead of
gonna
from
get
me.
this work
So,
or no? You gotta get
okay. So it's just like it's crazy, and it's just people need to do the work. And I was just saying that to myself. Like, a lot of people are putting themselves out here, making themselves available, but then they're not ready. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, well, I got to do this. I can't get into this and I can't get into that because
Girl,
I still got to
oh,
do this. Why are you out
baby.
here then? Why are you making yourself
Why?
available? I've been looking at too many dating shows. I'm like, girl, what is you doing? Like, just going
That's
off.
why though. But that's
It's
why, because you got
crazy.
these shows out here.
It's just like, what is y'all doing? Like, why are y'all making yourself available and like I had made a post actually on Facebook the other day. It's a difference between being single and being single and available. Know the difference and act accordingly. Okay?
Yeah,
If you
I
are not
heard that.
available, if you are not spiritually, physically, mentally available for a connection, stop putting yourself out here because hurt people.
Yeah.
You're still damaged. You have not healed. And now you out here trying to mess somebody else's life up. No, do the work and then you put yourself out there. And then
Yeah.
that's why people keep running into these same situations. They keep getting hurt. They this, they don't,
Mhm.
whatever, because they're not healed. They're still dealing with stuff. You gotta heal. You gotta do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Most people think they need
Crazy.
someone else, but see, some people think that they need someone else to help them.
Yes.
That's
You
the
need a
problem.
filler.
They're going outside of themselves instead of like mostly
Yeah.
men. Mostly men. I got
Yes.
mostly men.
Mostly men.
Mostly
Man.
men think that they need a woman. They need a good woman, a solid woman in order for them to heal. And not to
Mhm.
say that we're nurturers and we definitely bring that, but you still have to do the work. This
Yeah.
is why most men, tend to screw over or lose a good woman because
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
you have. We're not the issue, but we're not the solution. Because
Yeah.
if we
Mhm.
were, you wouldn't do us dirty. You would do
They
Mm-hmm.
gotta do the. They gotta learn how to
all
love themselves, and
They
that's
absolutely.
another
do.
thing. A lot of men was raised to be, hard and not show emotion or not be expressive and things like that. So they don't know how to reciprocate when it's given to them or even give it, and it's like it's foreign to them. So instead of them like and when they get triggered, instead of them diving into that energy and figuring it out, they run away from it and they put on this front or whatever, and they just run away from it. And that's why I'm raising my sons to embrace their
Yeah.
feelings and their emotions. If you feel something, let me know. Talk to me. Open book. You can come and talk to me about whatever. If you're feeling some type of way. So just expressing yourself and being emotionally vulnerable and knowing that what love feels like, you know what I'm saying, and just feeling, a lot of men just run for any kind of feeling, like,
Feeling because they're men. They're. I was gonna say that when Plum Queen
mhm,
was saying that they're masculine, not to. And I've learned to really love these men.
mhm,
There's another lady to watch named Venus. I think Dr. Venus. She talks about loving the black man, loving him through his wounds. And
mhm,
let me tell you, it starts with us loving ourselves. This is how I did it. We are both masculine and feminine in both of
yeah,
us. Male and female created he them both. That's what that means.
mhm,
So you have to learn to love the masculine in you. We have
mhm,
to learn to honor the masculine because we have a wounded masculine inside of us. That's just the ego. That's the ego who protects. The ego is just a protector. And so it's just through your childhood wounds, it's protected in the best way it could, which it does tell lies to you to protect you. That's why you believe some misappropriated things. But I say that to say the men, we need to love them through help them go within in their molecular structure. They are in their male capsule. They're mostly masculine energy, so they have all of the aspects of the masculine, which is ego, the will, the thinking, the conscious and the subconscious. Yeah, the
mhm,
subconscious is more the feminine, the feeling, the intuition, and all of
mhm,
that. So they don't know how to go within, like what Plum Queen was saying. You're right. They don't go within. They don't know how
mhm,
because their makeup is so much of an outer thing that they
mhm,
don't think to go within. They actually need help. They need, just like we need to honor our masculine, they need to
mhm,
honor their feminine. They need to be
mhm,
able to trust their feminine, which is the vulnerable side. There's the protector,
mhm.
there's the vulnerable side. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And it's for all of us, even us women,
Yeah.
but men more so because they're in that, I call it the male capsule. They're in
Mhm,
that capsule, so they need help with that.
And they're
And
taught that too.
especially,
That's taught behavior because men
exact,
can't cry. You're not
yeah,
supposed
don't
to
cry,
mhm.
don't do this. And especially our black men, because
Yes.
of slavery. It's a slave and what do I call it? What do they call it again? Slave mentality passed
Tally.
down, generational wounds and all of that. I did a whole thing on that too. They was like, what, you got to do that again? But I did a whole Sankofa live on that. And because
Mhm,
I was like, we gotta really help them heal, because this comes from
mhm,
slavery. They don't know how to go within, and they're taught to not love themselves. They're taught to look away and they get more upset at the women. Like there's a whole play back and forth, and we don't realize we were turned on ourselves from slavery. So there's a lot of undoing that needs to be
Yeah.
done with
A
them,
lot of
like
unraveling.
yeah, with your boys. But it would be so good if everybody, I call this my new frame, girl, that I got a coin. I call it mind your business, not MIND, but MINE, like digging for gold. You need to mine your soul. Go in your soul and dig. And if everyone is doing their own, then you will open up and expand your love for yourself as well as extending it to the next. So we don't do that. We can't, it's just gonna be a constant back and forth. You should do this, you should do that. No, I need to do my soul work, and you need to be saying the same thing for yourself. And if we are both doing, if you think of this in a relationship, if I'm doing my soul work and you're doing your soul work, then we can work on whatever we need to work on together.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of people and men run from that. And you got to, it has to be men who's willing to do that. Most men are not. You speak of consciousness and spirituality, and they looking at you like, what? You know what I'm saying? But a man that can honestly open up and speak on this and know and recognize it, and that's beautiful. And definitely you want to do that. But most men don't. Most men was like, what, girl, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
About,
They ain't trying to hear that. They like, you know what I'm saying? And they just keep it pushing. So yeah.
Well, my dude's a Christian, and he's not really into spirituality at all. But but we've been together for over almost 13 years now. So he's watched me. He's watched my growth, and he sees, you know what I'm saying, where it has me now. So he draws from the energy. He tries to just draw it from me. And then that's why the universe tends to put us in positions where we have to be separate. So he can do the work by himself. Because it's almost like eating meat. We think we're getting protein from, from cows and stuff like that, but cows eat grass. Cows are actually vegetarians. So you're technically getting protein from their diet. So it's like getting secondhand protein. Instead of just going straight to the vegetable, you're getting the body right through the cow. So he kind of tends to do that, tries to maneuver,
around it.
Yeah, use the energy.
Get secondhand energy and whatnot.
Right.
You don't want to get his firsthand energy. Okay.
Exactly. Because you need to be talking to his grandma instead of Jesus.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see my tarot cards and my altar and all of that stuff. He don't say nothing.
But he's saying something.
Right. He ain't going nowhere either. You know what I'm saying? That ain't scared him off. So
that's crazy because I got a lot of, and that was like part of my journey. I had like a really low moment emotionally dealing with somebody, and that's what turned me to tarot. And that's how I learned I had a gift, and I started to listen more to my intuition and like work through spirit. And I grew up a Christian. Like my grandma had me in church every Sunday morning, and even myself, I kind of kept it going. I had my kids in church, but I always felt like, for even from younger, when I was like a kid, I always was interested in astrology and the signs and things like that. So I knew that it was a lot more, and it didn't really hit me until I hit that rock bottom. And then, of course, in the midst of it, I'm like, oh, wow, woe is me. Why I got to go through this? But on the other side of it, I'm looking like I'm grateful for that experience, because if it had not been for that experience, I would not have, got that information, that learned my spirituality. And so I, of course, wholeheartedly believe in God, but I just believe there's so much more, and a lot of people don't understand that. And I just feel sad for them, because it's like, you just don't understand, it's so much more out here than just God. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's angels, it's just so much more information, and some people are just so closed-minded and they don't get it, and then they're judgmental. But I don't judge their situation. You believe whatever you want to believe. I'm still gonna love you the same. I'm not gonna look at you no different. But I just know that it's so much more than just a book. You know what I'm saying? It's so much more. And you can't, like, the stuff I've seen, the stuff I've witnessed, you can't tell me that this is all it is. It's so much more. The feelings that I felt, the synchronicities, just everything is so much more, and people just don't understand that. So I can say I believe in God, and I can say I believe in spirituality, and yeah, I get my tarot cards too. You know, that's just me. You know, I pull energy from all places. That's just who I am. And so I'm learning to embrace that and, you know, not care what nobody else think. Yeah, I pull tarot cards, girl. Let me tell you about yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be real and I'm going to be raw. Like, I don't sugarcoat stuff and I don't do all the, oh, it's all rainbows and sunshine.
That's
No, it's
spiritual
not.
bypassing.
That is, and I despise people who use spirituality as you know, as a tool. Like I've seen this so much. I had a talk about this, or it was like a post or something in one of these tarot groups I'm in. But a lot of people will use that to scam people. They'll be like, "Oh, you have a curse on you that's been on you since your grandmother, and you were 2 years old." And I remember people used to say, they don't know, you know, who I am, so they all like, "Yeah, girl, you got a curse. You know, you need to just do this to get this curse off." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, what do I do?" Or, you know, I'm drawing them in or whatever. And I'm like, you are only cursed if you believe you are cursed. Nobody's cursed. I'm like, I don't, and it really pisses me off because that's why people have such this big stigma against tarot in you know, the metaphysical realm, because people like them who uses it and scams people and say, "Oh, if you send me $50, then I'll get this curse off you." Honey, you ain't got no curse on you. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I am not cursed. I am healed. Okay? No, not at all.
Happens, that's karma.
That's karma. That ain't a
It's
curse. That's
karma.
called karma. Go clean it up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
that's karma.
people
Everybody
believe, they
got
like,
that.
right. And they're like,
Everybody
"Oh, they
got
told
that.
me I was cursed and I just don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Sweetie, you are not cursed. You are what you believe you are. You need to start speaking healing and light and love into your life, and that's what it's going to be. Set your intentions and put it out here. Stop allowing these people to trick you." And that's another thing, me and you were talking about, Tamara, about people sitting here, like, you know, coming to tarot and, "Girl, can you pull my cards?" And next week, "Can you pull my cards?" What is you doing
What
to
are you
heal
doing?
yourself?
Did
Stop
you
coming to
do
me. I'm not
anything?
your God. I'm not your savior. I'm a person just like you. I'm just more in tune and in tap with my spirituality, and you can be that way too if you do
Cast
the
the
work.
fear. No, you cast
Yeah.
the
All you
Scorpio
gotta
sign.
do.
And
That's
they
all
gotta
you
carry
gotta
your
do.
ties every time they come to your feet. That's, I promise you, that's the mentality. That's what they're used to.
Yes.
You're
The
the new
mentality is
God.
that somebody has to
Yeah.
heal me or save me instead of saving
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, it's when
Yes.
you say that too, Plum, when you tell to save yourself. I gotta go back to this because it was so funny. If you watch this again, you're gonna see how hard I probably cracked up when she said it. But when Taquita said that they run, I swore when she said run, I just saw everybody ducking like it's a drive-by, and I swear that's what it is. I was like, yeah, they run like it's a drive-by. Like people
Mhm.
out here, your guides are trying to help you. The triggers that come up are trying to help you, and you snap and duck
You
like
dodging it.
bullets
You
at
need
you.
to be
Like I'm trying to
right.
help you. What you
Right.
Some
from?
blows you
Nobody
gotta take. People don't
ain't
understand.
nobody
Take it.
busting AKs at you. What's good? What you
Right.
That's how it
People think
feels
that
like.
you over here doing spell work and putting
That's how I
curses
feel
and
like to
got
them.
a witch brew and stirring up some stuff. I ain't doing none of that. I am
It's
not into
true.
anything. And like people like, "Oh, you doing, you know, love potions?" No, I ain't put
no.
no love potion or spell on nobody. I want somebody to love me authentically and purely for who I am. I'm not about to put no spell on nobody. Bye.
That's
What
why
I
them
look like?
folks see how bad that is.
No, I ain't got
All these
Mm-mm.
time.
potions not good.
No, all
No
these
good
No.
black
spells no
magic
way.
and all
How
that.
about you?
No.
You
Mm-mm.
know we need to keep rerouting people to they childhood wounds. How about you
Yeah.
go and heal some wounds? You want some
Yeah.
help with something? You trying to find you a man? How about you heal some wounds? You trying to find you
Mhm.
a woman? How about you go? Let me help you out here. How about you find your ancestral trauma? Let's do some root work. Go to
Mhm.
your root chakra. There's some ancestral trauma that you need to look into that comes from
Mhm.
probably carrying some motherhood wounds. I'm gonna need you to find out what was going on while your mom was pregnant with you. You know, so
Mhm.
we like, hey,
That's
I'm gonna need you to
they're
go.
gonna run from that.
Yeah,
You
like
start
go
talking that shit,
follow.
and
Yeah,
you
people
talking
don't
that
know
shit right
that.
there. That's
Listen,
gonna
it
make the
goes
finger language
deeper.
go limp.
It go
That's gonna turn it.
it goes deeper than childhood wounds. Like you don't
Yes.
understand. There are motherhood wounds from the womb.
Facts.
From when
Mhm.
you were in the womb, you came in with this. It's inherent.
Mhm.
in you. So sometimes you fight in stuff that you ever had some stuff that you be like, I keep dealing with this, and I thought I dealt with it. For one, you probably didn't get it at the core. For two, if you did get it at the core, you might want to go and check some motherhood wounds. It's beyond you. It's ancestral. And so now you need to go and do some ancestral work. People be running from ancestor thinking that, you know, like African spirituality, and you don't understand that even white people out here doing it. Don't just call it African spirituality. You have the white people out here are doing their ancestral work. They out look, some of them out here doing it way more than the black folk.
Everybody has ancestors.
We all got ancestors
in the spirit realm. So if you Russian, you holler at your Russian people. Like it's not about
it's not about African.
Spirituality doesn't have a color.
It doesn't.
It's not a race. It's about spirit. So
it's about spirit.
Your peoples, you can holler at your peoples, however your peoples did it.
Yeah.
Your rituals are your rituals. That's why intentions are so important. There was a time when, you know what I'm saying, there wasn't the internet. So the way we do things now, our ancestors didn't know how to do that, but they were still calling on it, you know what I'm saying, on their ancestors. And all that, and their way, whatever tools were there at the time is what you use. That's why music, you know what I'm saying? Like I get messages in music and movies now. That's spirit's big.
I get messages in music.
Or a TV show. I don't even have to fully be paying attention to it. But as soon as I am, message, like the last few things I posted, what am I watching? Merlin on Netflix. It's turned into a series. I'm just looking at the captions. You know how when you go on Netflix and they kind of give you a little bit of what's going to happen. The dragon said some profound shit right off the rip, which is what made me want to watch it.
You talking to the dragon? What the dragon?
This is what he said. No, that's not even what he said. That's what he said after I started watching it. Like the dragon just you know what I'm saying? Just talking to me. What did he say? Hold on.
These dragons out here talking to us now. I've been getting a dragon theme lately too. So
see, now look at
there's some. I even had a dream with a dragon. I was like, what? A purple dragon.
No one, no matter how great, can know their destiny. You cannot glimpse your part in the great story that is about to unfold. Like everyone, you must live and learn.
Oh, that was powerful.
Message.
Right, that's a message. You need your bell, girl.
Like,
yes.
Stuff that I be needing to hear. Y'all had said something earlier. You was talking about outcomes. I have posted something else. There's this tarot page that just pops up. Like I don't even really be looking for that stuff, to be quite honest. Even though I do tarot, it kind of just pops up, and I know that's
spirit
message.
It's your guide.
What did I say? Something about there are no outcomes. You know what I'm saying? Outcomes are created. You know what I'm saying? With daily acts or everyday acts.
What's your decision?
That's what helped me completely heal from, you know what I'm saying, my expectations from my relationship.
There you go.
I always had, even on a subconscious level, was attached to an outcome. If this doesn't end up this way, that means that my relationship is not valid. That means I'm not valid. That means this is that. All my insecurities, you know what I'm saying, and why I started the relationship in the first place started coming up. Once she said that, because we were kind of in like a little separation type situation, once she said that, just a level of peace just came over me. Because I know now my journey is my journey, and what's for me is going to always be for me. Yeah. So, can't say unfortunately because we don't know yet.
Fortunately.
If we don't work out the way it's supposed to, or the way that I want it, that means the universe has another situation that's going to be set up, that's going to be for me. And it's up free will. It's
free will.
To him, you know what I'm saying, whether he want to go fast track on that healing or not. Because I got to keep on, and that doesn't take away my love for him. He's my twin flame. We're going to always be connected and all of that good stuff. But definitely certain things that I want, you know what I'm saying, out of life. And it's possible that our journeys, you know what I'm saying, cannot correlate with that. And that's not a bad thing. And that doesn't mean that, our relationship is meaningful, or he doesn't love me, I don't love him, and it's not real, and all of that jazz. All of these, 3D, stipulations and thought processes we have about relationships are just all gone. Like it's
Mm.
just pure unconditional love. I want
Mhm.
him happy with me. I want him happy if he's without me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna feel bad either way of how this goes. Now I
Mhm.
want to have his babies and all of that good stuff, but if that ain't it, it's gonna be
Then
something else or someone
Yeah.
else. So
mm-hmm.
I'm not no longer
Not tripping.
carrying that weight. You know what I'm saying? And those thought process about it. And to be quite honest, he kind of feels that energy, and
Mhm.
we've been getting a whole lot closer.
You've been getting a
Mhm.
lot of different feelings
Yeah, I've been getting a whole lot of new better vibes. It's
because
like
you
I
sending
feel
out that
like
energy. You sending out like
yes, you filling out the
about it. And
yes.
real quick before you say something, I was like, I'm trying to hold it and not forget it. But when you
sorry.
said the outcome, yeah, when you
Mhm.
said the outcome, it was like it triggered like something I saw too that said, and you said detach, and it said like we must detach from the outcome in order to truly have the experience in life. Like it's like you have to
Mhm.
detach from the outcome.
Yep.
And that went with something else that spoke about final destinations. No, it's called destination addiction. A lot of people are
Mhm.
addicted to a destination, a destined outcome, rather than just looking at the journey, rather than living in every
Mhm.
moment in the now moment as a journey. We're looking for some type of outcome and having these expectancies, like what you were saying. We have these and expectancy is right above fear. Fear is at the core of all negative emotions. And when you peel the layers, expectancy is right
Expectations.
there. Yeah, when you lift it from anger, like I always explain these to people, if you peel the layers, anger is an outer layer. When you peel it's like you angry because you mad because you sad because you hurt because you disappointed
Because
because
you
you got an
expected something.
expectation, you expected something to happen
Mhm.
or not
Love it.
happen. And when you peel that layer, you'll realize you had an expectation because you have a fear of something happening or not happening. That's what breeds the expectation. So the key
I need
Mhm.
is
you to
to,
be this, and I need you to be that. So I'm stable.
yeah,
So I'm loved. So
so
I'm
I'm
Yes.
so I'm that.
exactly to
And if you
cover
don't
your
do
Yes.
ego.
that, then that means I'm not this. I'm
And
not that. And
now
I
you see
Yes.
why we have to remove the fear. This is why it's guiding us we have to remove the fear in order to fix whatever perceptions are in our minds, and to
Mhm.
switch that um to, I want to say, to transmute it from expectation. The opposite of that on the love ball is
Mhm.
acceptance. So
Mhm.
you have to kind of move to a place of acceptance, which is like you said, accepting the outcome, accepting the person for who they are,
Mhm.
actually
accepting
like more the word
everything, you
embrace.
know.
I like the word
Sorry,
embrace
sorry,
more.
Taquita, I couldn't let that go.
Oh no, you're fine. That I love that. Yes, definitely. It's just like if we knew exactly what the outcome would be, would
Mhm.
you have done this? Would you have done that? You know what I'm saying? And so it kind of puts stuff in perspective. It kind of makes me think back to the Avengers movie. I'm a big Avengers fan, like me and my kids. And so like what I think I forget what Avengers this was, but Doctor Strange, he's a time traveler. He can see into the future, and they were fighting against Thanos. And he went and he looked at all possible outcomes, and he literally told him, was like, it's not going to happen. Like there's no way we can beat him. But he knew that there was only one way. So instead of him telling them that, he just didn't tell them. So it just kind of puts stuff in perspective for me. And what it just kind of, I say all that to say that, sometimes the universe doesn't reveal everything to us because it's certain things that we don't need to know. And like you said, what's going to happen is going to happen regardless.
Mhm.
And life is all about experience. It's not about, like you said, getting to that destination and, whatever. It's all about experience because these experiences is shaping and warping us to become the persons that we're meant to be. So without these experiences, we're not becoming these people. So it takes away from the value of life without these experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. So when you embrace that and like you said, do away with the expectations, life becomes more meaningful. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, like I wouldn't want to know my future. Like
Mhm.
if I had all in any power, I would not want to know what my future is going to be. It just takes away the joy, the journey. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just go through it, And like you said, whatever is meant to be is going to be what God has for me. No man can take away. So it doesn't matter if I go this way or go that way. That is going to be for me. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if you knew like the stuff that you know now. Say for instance, you know, you're dealing with somebody and that didn't go well, and then you met somebody else, and then it just, you know, you got married, da 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 da. Had you knew that you breaking up from that person was going to lead you to this person, would you have gone through that experience? Like, would you have still done it the same way? You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, a lot of us hold on to things because we don't know that it's something else out there. And sometimes the universe is trying to tear us away from something, but we're holding on so tightly and we're so consumed by this expectation and this fear of letting go. And it's not until we let go that that thing that is meant for us comes in. So, you know, and it's just like you just have to, again, let go. You just got to let go. And the universe is, like you said, is always moving and it's free flowing, and everybody has free will to do whatever they want to do. And you can't make somebody be in a situation with you or be with you. They're probably not ready. They're not on that journey, or they're not ready for what you're ready for. Everybody is on a journey, and you meet certain people. Like, I'm a firm believer that you have multiple soulmates. Like, I don't feel like there's just one specific person meant for you.
143,999 to be exact.
Like, I don't feel like you have one person. It's like so many people that you're compatible with, but you meet certain people in certain places in your life and on certain levels where y'all just click and it just matches, it just works. And then, you know, I probably have met a couple of my soulmates, but they were just not where I was spiritually, or just evolved where I'm at. So it just didn't work out. So, but that's okay. But you just keep going, and you eventually will run into that one that is meeting you where you are needed to be met, and it just will work out. So you just got to have faith in that. So that's what you know, because like me personally, I have been single for over 10 years. You know, I have had literally one real relationship my whole life, and that was with my kid's father. And you would think that I have been married 3 times, been in five failed marriages, whatever, because I feel like I have so much wisdom and so much experience, you know, and I'm always, you know, helping people through their situations and their mess. But I'm grateful for the experiences, like I said, good, bad, or indifferent, because I enjoy and I love the woman that I am. And, you know, and that's just in itself. So, but it is what it is. Like you said, just letting go of outcomes. People hold on to certain situations and people because of fear. They're scared. And, you know, once you release that, that's when that energy starts coming back. And people feel that vibration. When they feel you detaching, you ain't gotta say a word, you know. And you know when somebody is like on your frequency, like you said, Tamara. If you think about them, and then I can't tell you how many times I thought about somebody and they called, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know. Like, I don't, like, that's happened to me a lot lately. When I'm thinking about somebody, and I'll be like, speaking of the, they calling my line. You know.
Yesterday, it's been raining out here, so I was on the bus to getting some groceries, and I had to wait at the bus stop for a while. And my man, you know, wanted to pop up for lunchtime, you know what I'm saying, to come and check me, but he didn't know that I was out. But I really wanted to see him. So I was like, damn, he showed up and I wasn't there. So I was like, well, I'm on the bus or whatever. And he was like, oh, yeah? He's like, well, get off the bus. Sure enough, I got off the bus. He pulled right up. He pulled right. As soon as, and the bus was about to pull off. 60 seconds from the bus pulling off, I'm getting off real quick. And he was right. It wasn't even like I had to wait. It was just on time. Like, and honestly, it's because I've been changing I've kind of, I don't know how, I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it, because again, I love him. He is my twin flame. I want nothing more than to have a trillion of his babies. And you know what I'm saying?
Not a trillion, queen. Not a trillion.
If my 37-year-old womb can carry 1,000 of his babies, I really would. I promise you that I would. You know what I'm saying? But my relationship with him from the beginning started off with my insecurities. I tried to replace my mother with him. I had expectations of her, and with my abandonment issues, so I assumed that he was supposed to give me those things. Right. Now that I know better and I'm healed from that, I have less of this attachment. So there's certain things that I don't do Another thing, I'm getting busy now. My life is growing. My business is growing. So I don't have all of this idle time to just be sitting around, you know what I'm saying, worrying about what he got going on. So now, if I don't speak to him, I'm not scared about what that means. You know what I mean? So now I don't have to overreact and things of that nature. So I'm sure he likes that. Then at the same time, it's like, okay, what does that mean? Because for men, when you give them overly your energy, that's how they know they got you.
Yeah.
Especially with, I'm a very habitual person, so I kind of do the same things, you know what I'm saying, the same way. So switching it up, it's a telltale sign that you may be moving on or your feelings for them have changed. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to change. I almost wanted to stifle myself because I didn't want him to think that, that I don't love him anymore. And I don't want him to think that because, we have like a long distance relationship. So I didn't want him to think, okay, well, maybe I need to, deal with my baby mamas again and all that. Since she got that, I didn't want that. I want us to grow. Now, whether he get up with them girls or not, I don't even care. I'm going to be real. I've been dealing with him for 13 years. As long as when I go to OBGYN and we ain't got no problems, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And my, my space isn't, interrupted. I'm not even really worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Those women are always going to be in their lives. They gave birth to his children. You know what I'm saying? So they're always going to be connected. And to be quite honest, sex is here on a totem pole of importance. Yeah, not to say that they just go and fuck all of them and just have a way with it, but those things are not. I'm not worrying about those things anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm detaching myself. You know what I'm saying, from those things, because those are things that keep you in relationships that you don't need to be in. You know what I'm saying? Keep you attached to folks that you don't need to be attached to. You know what I'm saying? And making relationships a whole lot harder than they need to be. You know what I'm saying? That, like I said, that's 5% of our relationship. The other 95%, I can't lie, even with his issues, is on point. So am I really gonna trip about that? But let's think logically. Let's just go to the masculine side of things. That's what I've been learning. Let's think logically without your emotions. You know what I'm saying? If you get 95% of you want out of a situation, is that not a win? You know what I'm saying? So again, I ain't never had to worry about them. 13 years, I ain't never seen them, heard them. Ain't nobody showed up at the house. Ain't nobody called my
nobody popping off.
Anybody popped up or popped off. You know what I'm saying? So I need not, worry about that, because I know when he's around me and when I'm talking to his energy, I know his energy, and
I know your energy. I feel
we good over here. So I'm not, and that's kind of putting him in a position to keep his game up, because I am networking and getting on out there in the world and meeting new people and all that good
what's
stuff.
She doing? What's she really doing? You pulling him closer, like what you really doing, and one thing
download the channel and you can see everything.
Yeah, when you get on the channel, check the channel out. But when you were saying you didn't want him to feel like, his feelings, your feelings for him has changed. Like the first thing that popped in my mind was like, no, your feelings about you have changed. So that's what he's seeing. He's like, it's nothing to do with you, but my feelings about myself has changed. I'm putting me first. I'm doing what I got to do for me. And I'm not holding it back out of a concern for you. And this, again, is something that we all should be working on in this time and space. We need to be, this is a part of the detaching. Stop worrying about how, and I literally just had a dream about this the other night. I think I spoke about it on my last live, that in that dream, I was stating my I am. And, hopefully maybe this will help somebody too, but we in the space where we need to just state our I am. Everything that you are, which is your solar plexus. So if there's anything that you need to speak to someone about, any situation that you have that you may have been dealing with, what you want to do is you don't want to point at them and go back to this and that. We don't need to deal with that. What you want to do is stay in a place of love, get heart-centered first, and then love yourself so much that you don't care how much it's going to offend somebody just by you showing how much you love your I am, and state your I am. So what you're going to do when you talk to them is you just state your I am. You don't go into no depths of you did this and that. You just say, I am this. This is who I am. This is my soul's integrity. This is also how you can set your healthy boundaries. This is what I will do. This is what I won't do. And because of my I am, I warrant this. I require this due to my I am and the love of my I am. I am the love that lights the truth in its most divine, highest way. I am divinity and beyond. State all of your powerful aspects unapologetically, with no fear of no one thinking that you are thinking that you all that, because that's another fear that holds us back. Again, we thinking about the other person. You thinking about offending them, and if they're going to think you all that. No, I know I'm all that. I know that I am that I am. And so I'm going to state that in a place of love. No disrespect to you, but in a place of love, and then walk away. Don't try to bitter it out back and forth with them. Just state your claim and say, I bid you adieu. Have a blessed day, or, go about your business and leave it alone. Take your hands out. I kid you not. This is what I did in the dream. Walked away, and then they came back around me and in the dream and in a place of love, because I know they were uncomfortable. While you have this conversation, it's going to be tension. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you have to stand grounded, stand in your power, and grounded and rooted in love, and just walk away with it. And they will come near you. You might have to give them some time to process it. But what the dream showed me is they came back around with appreciation and appreciating the truth in my love that lights the truth. And I was like, okay, that taught me a lesson, So I just say that to throw that out there for anybody else. We know we need to get in our I am right now. Don't worry about how they're going to take it, how they're going to be offended. Love yourself. And again, got to bring it back to the childhood wound. So, again, this takes you loving yourself enough to love yourself beyond your childhood wounds. That is definitely going to help you.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we could talk about this for another hour.
Right?
So, but I'm going to let y'all ladies go.
This is
Akilah,
beautiful.
we appreciate you so much. Please tell everybody where they can find you and tell them a little bit about the workshop.
Oh, okay. That's right. I have workshops. The next one is coming up in June. It's called the Divine Chakra Moon Workshop, which has to do with like chakras, as you see behind me, as well as the moon. I do it with the full moon. It's a 7-day workshop working from the root, going from the root, coming on up to the crown. We're pulling up our fears and we're transcending them in the heart, all the way up to our highest spiritual self, which is the crown. So that's what we do in that workshop. And currently a new workshop has been coming out where we do manifestations. It's the manifestations workshop where we do that with the new moon coming from the crown going down. That's something I've been doing, but with a specific set of people, to be honest, because your first work is you really got to work those fears up. So the full moon one, I highly recommend for everybody. I may make that a prerequisite, for the manifestations. But outside of that, you can catch me on Facebook, Akilah Textri, Reflections in Truth. Also, I am on YouTube under Divine Energy. It may be hard to find. I think I have to change that name because there's a lot of divine energies. But if you put in Divine Energy and Akilah Speaks, you should be able to pull it up. Let me see. Just to be specific, in case you still can't find it, look up a topic, how to unblock your subconscious, how to unlock your subconscious. When you put in a specific topic, it takes you right to my page. And then where else can you find me? That's about it for now. And I'm Plump Queen. Whenever she'll have me back, hey, I'll be back.
Oh, we're going to always have you here on Inspiration TTV. Always.
That's right.
All right, Miss Taquita, tell them all about you, where to find you, girl.
My name is Taquita, as y'all know. You can find me mainly over on YouTube. I have a channel called Scorpio Sun. I just started another channel. It's called Quita V Tarot Talk. I still do my tarot, but I also am having discussions about relationships and again with the healing, the trauma bonding, just different subjects on relationships and how those work. Healing after a heartbreak, or when it's time to leave. When is it okay to stay? Just different things like that. So if you're interested in that, you can find me on YouTube. Also on Facebook, I have a group called Scorpio Sun. So you can find me there. Instagram, it is realty_tarot. on Instagram. And then, of course, you can find me here.
There we go.
All right. Now, y'all know me. Y'all know where to find me. Where I need y'all to look to find me is on Inspire Media Network this Saturday, April 9th. Download, stream, however it is that you do it. But y'all need to get Inspire Media Network on your Roku TV. I am excited. You should be excited too. This is, I'm going to say, my solar return gift to myself through y'all. How about that? Yes. Appreciate it. Cannot wait to show you guys all this inspiration television style. But of course, on Thursdays, we have our Amped Up podcast. I have been connecting and networking with a lot of amputees, and we're starting a situation where we talk as amputees us, all for us, and by us. So all of the issues that we go through, telling our stories. We're even going to have almost like a strawberry letter type situation going on where we have amputees get, well, it's not really like the strawberry letter, but Jabber's going to be, talking about our emails. We're going to have people emailing their stories and things of that nature, and telling them and hopefully getting them, some exposure. So, we can really, put the amputee community on the map, and we can really teach this healing, because even as amputees and stuff, like a lot of stuff that we deal with, honestly, we've been dealing with prior to our amputations. A lot of us, like I had my childhood traumas, and me losing my arm didn't stop me from having to deal with those things.
That's
so,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So this podcast is definitely going to be a great space, you know what I'm saying, for all amputees. So definitely tune in on Thursdays at 6 p.m. All right. Of course, on Saturdays at noon, but I think y'all gonna see this at 9 a.m. SolSista Therapy Childhood Trauma podcast. As you can see how powerful this is. You know what I'm saying? We are out here doing the service for the people, because like I said, 10 years from now, I don't want to be talking about none of this. I want us to be on the next level. I want us to be embodying the healing and talking about the other side of healing. That's what I'm looking for. So that's why we're tackling and we're unraveling and unpacking all this stuff right now. So every Saturday at noon, but maybe at 9 a.m. this Saturday, you know what I'm saying? Definitely tap into SolSista Therapy Childhood Trauma Podcast. Now on Sundays with my Sistar 33 Master Teacher, we talk with spirit. Okay, she's an intuitive reader, and I kind of just throw my little comical, spin on it and just tell y'all my little experiences. You know what I'm saying with it. I'm a little bit more connected with oracle cards than tarot. Taquita is she's the expert, but oracle cards seem to be a whole lot easier for me to interpret, I should say. So we have 33 Master Teacher in the building. So, make it right and make it tight. So make sure y'all tune in every Sunday at 9 p.m. For Sundays with Spirit. Now, every once in a while, stuff happens like this Will and Jada slap and the Oscars and all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So I come through with my simple truths of Plum Queen. So I just pop up with Tell Truth Vision Social Media Live. So anytime you see this banner, and I just pop up, you're about to get some uncomfortable but much needed truth. Okay, so make sure you pop off of that. And we have Inspire interviews. I interview all of the most inspiring and amazing people. If you want to be interviewed, you can go to my link tree. And you go to my Candly, and you can sign up for an interview, because, we want to see you. I'm the conduit between those who want and those ones who have and those who need. So I know so many people who have these talents and so many people that can use those talents. So I'm here to bridge that gap. So this is why I do Inspire interviews. All right. So this is what we have to offer here. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all time and energy. And we just going to give you all of this inspiration all the time. So love y'all. Enjoy
love and light.
Saturday.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.